Okay, guys, so basically, I've been wanting to say something that I thought might as well get off of my chest. The first time I've ever become a brony. So, if you guys don't know, I've been a brony for about, I would say, all the way since around 2011 to 2012. If you can count as me being a kid as a brony, but I mean, you might correct me in the comments, but anyways, let's just say that I have been watching My Little Pony from, let's say, around 2011 to 2012 era, I would say. Basically around the year when, let's see, when most of other memes were becoming, well, types of memes. So let's go ahead and go all the way back to, let's say, around 2011 to 2012. So basically, let's just say that I'm the person who is, almost late or somewhat late to My Little Pony. Because basically, like, the different type of cartoons I would usually watch is on TV is mostly stuff like the Looney Tunes. Okay, I was a kid, alright? Like, like, you gotta admit, I mean, sometimes the Looney Tunes because as a kid, the Looney Tunes were kind of funny. And in its prime, I would say. And I meant the classic Looney Tunes, not the modern ones.
Obviously.
So, basically, that's what I ended up watching, so I was like, okay. But then I wanted, to explore a little, to see what other shows I like to watch. So I kept searching, and then I ended up watching, and then I see this, My Little Pony, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I watched the first episode, and I believe I watched the last episode of Season 1, and then I ended up watching Season 2 after that. So I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, they have some, like, the first episode of Season 2 has some action. I mean, there's not much, but there's some action, and I like it. So I got off of it for a bit because, I had to, like, deal with school, middle school, like, I'll tell you, middle school is just, it's struggling, and you had to pay attention a lot. So yeah, basically, I had fell off of it for a bit. Especially when I had to, like, concentrate on school and then most of middle school, but we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, correction. Around that time I was, like, busy with elementary school, and then I decided to, maybe watch it during the summer. So that's what I did. So I watched it the entire summer, and then little do I know is that there was actually that my sister had some sort of a Netflix account. So I asked her, like, hey, wouldn't you mind if I watch something on Netflix? And she was like, yeah, sure, go knock yourself out. Just don't watch too much though. And I was like, okay, sure. So I ended up watching My Little Pony, My Little Pony around that time. After, when I'm done watching, when I got back to it, when I graduated elementary school, I would say. And I believe it was around 2014 when I decided to get back into My Little Pony. So, little did I know that there was actually a Season 4, so I didn't know. So I had to rewatch all of Seasons 1 and 2 again because, the last time I watched Season 1 and Season 2 was the last episode, and then the last episode, which is when they were going to the Grand Galloping Gala, and then the first episode is when they were facing up against Discord. So I rewatched all of Season 1, and then I rewatched all of Season 2, and I still love Season 2 to this day. It was one of my favorites. And then there's Season 3, and then I watched all of that, and then I was surprised, and it surprises me that Season 3 was really short, and I thought it was basically it. But turns out there was season 4, and then that's when I was like, okay, that's pretty much it for season 4. That's basically the gist of it. But boy, was I wrong. Like during around 7th to 8th grade in middle school, I watched only 2 episodes of season 5 on cable TV. So, and I believe it was the one I believe it was episode Princess Spike, I believe. Yeah, it was the episode called Princess Spike, and then there was one where Pinkie and Rainbow Dash had a friendship quest to Griffinstone, and they eventually trying to reform Gilda into, you know, becoming more friendlier and making friends and stuff like that. So that's basically what this is. And I actually kind of like it. However, after that, I had to pay attention to school super hard because I had to, like, make sure I don't fail classes and whatnot. So after I graduated middle school, then high school, it was, like, super concentration. I had to, like, you know, make sure I don't lose, you know, focus on my grades and stuff, like, you know, basically stuff like that. The only time I ever heard of My Little Pony was around during my time at lunch when I was just like, I saw a trailer on YouTube. I was like, oh, they're releasing My Little Pony. But then after that, I just get back right into school again. And I didn't see My Little Pony until after high school during, I believe during, if I'm corrected, by the way, in the summer of 2019. Yeah. So basically, in 2019, I got back into watching My Little Pony, and thankfully, I was able to. I had a TV that is cable TV. I was able to binge watch all of the My Little Pony episodes from seasons 1, 2, 3, and then most of season 4, then 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and 9. So I decided to rewatch all of the episodes, so it was pretty cool. But little do I know, I thought I was like the only person who watches My Little Pony, but I was wrong. Turns out there was, let's say, many people. Of course, that's when I was finally introduced to the Brony fandom online. When I was finally reaching adulthood, and I was like, wow, look at all these people who are into My Little Pony. They're just like me. And I thought I was the only one, so I was like super happy that, you know, it wasn't just me who was into My Little Pony, it was everybody else who's also into My Little Pony, so it was really cool. And then around, like, I would say 2022 to 2023 is when I got into My Little Pony and started to join the Brony community. This is where, like, around 2022 to 2023 is where I met some of my friends, and, you know, had some really good friends along the way, and, you know, we had ups and downs before, but that doesn't stop, you know, knowing that, we had, you know, but that didn't stop us to, you know, making new friends, or, you know, mending our friendships sometimes. You know, as that song in season 7 would say, we're flawless, but we're a work in progress. So yeah, we may be flawed, but we're still a work in progress. That's basically, I think that's what the song is. Correct me. So yeah, basically it was basically me about being. So yeah, this is here we are today on my channel, basically covering most of My Little Pony, and honestly, it led me to, you know, decide I wanted to join other fandoms. I was thinking about it, but then a friend of mine was, then of course a friend of mine was like, you know, had the idea of joining other fandoms, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to join other fandoms too. So this gave me enough encouragement to, like, join other fandoms and explore. And, you know, explore stuff that is, you know, beyond My Little Pony, and see what I've been missing out on. So yeah, and this is here we are today. As right now, I still cover My Little Pony, and of course, I still do Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah, it's basic, and yeah, and I'm still continuing on, you know, exploring other fandoms. I'm taking it you know, slowly at a time, you know, slow and steady wins the race, right? So that's basically what this is. So yeah, and if you guys are wondering, yes, I'm still happy, and I'm still, I'm still, you know, what's the word? Let's just say that I'm still, I'm still happy at being a brony. I like being a brony. I'm not gonna change that. So yeah, and that's how this is where we are today. So tell me, what is your memorable memory when you were in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic? Well, whether if it's My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or Make Your Mark, if those who like that, or if you guys are really OG, like one of those types that love old OG stuff like G1, then what's your fond memories of it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click on the bell icon so you won't miss out on any future videos. And as always, time for me to spin out.